For most of human history, the majority of people across the world lived in small communities. However, over the past few centuries, and especially in recent decades, we have been witnessing a dramatic shift. While in the middle of the 20th century, just 30% of the world's population lived in cities, this figure had already risen to 54% by 2015. A look into the future even suggests that this growth will continue to increase, so that by 2050, the degree of urbanization is expected to reach 66%. At the same time, living in urban areas is associated with a number of negative stress factors. Noise, smells, dirt and dust, cramped living conditions, anonymity, and the closely linked solitude all have an adverse effect on our health and well-being. In addition to detrimental effects on the mental states, these can include a growing sense of stress in the form of rising cortisol levels, increasing cases of obesity and diabetes, as well as an elevated risk of respiratory diseases such as asthma or lung cancer. It becomes clear that there is a need for action to make life in the city healthier again. But what is the connection between these stress factors and an increasing urbanization? And how can we create a healthier life in the city? To explore this question and uncover where our affinity with nature comes from, we would like to take you on a little journey through time. When we look at the daily life of our ancestors, it was to a large extent related to the close observation of their surroundings. Finding suitable food, water and shelter, handling predators, and effectively monitoring time and one's geographical location all heavily relied on paying attention to cues in nature. Due to the enormous impact that nature connectedness has had on our historical development, ultimately leading to a significant evolutionary advantage, psychology suggests that modern environments are not ideally suited to minds that evolved in other, more natural environments. It may be obvious that there are already many differences, so-called mismatches, between our current living conditions and the environment of evolutionary adaptation, the number of which increases even more due to the global migration to cities. However, when these differences have a negative impact on our health and quality of life, so-called discords, the detrimental consequences of increasing urbanization become clear. In order to address those disputes and strengthen our well-being, there are a number of measures people can take in relation to the biophilia thesis. Numerous studies show a positive correlation between interaction with nature and health. Through physical activity, active travel, social interactions, and residential proximity to green spaces, we can benefit from a range of advantages on both a psychological and a physiological level. Mental health effects hereby include well-being, improved attention, pro-environmental behavior, life satisfaction, positive effects on mental restoration, social cohesion, and less anxiety disorders as well as depression. While on a physical level, people benefit in form of improved cardiovascular parameters, reduced stress hormones, enhanced immune resources, alleviated cognitive fatigue, increased feelings of vitality and longevity, as well as an overall self-reported health. Furthermore, individuals higher in nature connectedness tend to be more conscientious, extroverted, and agreeable. In order to explore these benefits and improve our well-being in the wake of increasing urbanization, it is necessary to dissolve the discords as best as possible and strengthen the closeness to nature of the inhabitants. A transformation of our cities is needed that drives these measures forward. By creating green interventions and qualitative public green spaces in form of easily accessible parks, green roofs and facades, urban gardening, or green corridors, we do not only take advantage of the restorative visual aspects and fragrances, but also contribute to improved acoustics, habitat for wildlife, a positive influence on microclimate, reduction of urban heat islands, as well as offer a temporary escape from everyday routines and demands. Overall, adding natural elements to our modern living environment and thereby turning our dense, faceless, man-made surroundings into multidimensional biophilic cities can positively impact cognition and emotion, provide space and opportunity not only to exercise, but also to interact and socialize with others, and therefore have a valuable impact on stress levels, health, and well-being in the cities.